Good evening. I'm Patricia Vallone with the CTV News Update. Prince George's County begins a full Phase 2 reopening today at 5 p.m. Gyms, casinos, and places of worship, as well as shopping malls and outdoor community pools, can all reopen at 50% capacity. Personal services such as barber shops, hair salons, and nail salons, tattoo and massage parlors can all open at half capacity. Amusement parks will need to remain at 40% capacity. For more information, you can go to mypgc.us. A Greenbelt lab that has been processing coronavirus specimens collected at pop-up clinics across the state is ordered to shut down. The Maryland Health Department says Advanced Pain Medicine Institute does not have the proper certification. The state is warning anyone who received tests at several Baltimore area facilities that the results may be incorrect and that they should consider getting another test. The state has also suspended the institute's license to operate a medical lab and perform any testing. Maryland adds millions to a fund to help residents pay their rent during the pandemic. Governor Larry Hogan says he's committing $30 million in federal aid to help tenants struggling to pay their rent. While an evictions moratorium remains in effect, residents who need assistance should visit 211md.org. Maryland, My Maryland, it's the state song, but claiming it's racist, activists are pushing to change the 81-year-old anthem. One lawmaker has sponsored legislation more than once to change it due to its controversial lyrics. Now she has the support of the chamber's top leaders.
A lot of people know that Maryland, My Maryland is our state song, but most folks don't know all the lyrics, and that's because they're pretty embarrassing.
The Despot's is on my shore, Maryland, my Maryland.
They call President Abraham Lincoln a tyrant and a despot. They celebrate Confederate troops, and a lot of folks have stopped using it. Kids are not taught the anthem in schools. It's abundantly past time to get it off our law books one way or another.
The state song was written in 1861 by Maryland native James Ryder Randall, who in the early days of the Civil War was sympathetic to the Confederate Army. The General Assembly adopted Maryland, My Maryland as the state song in 1939. The social justice movement sweeping the country has the state of Mississippi taking action on a controversial flag. Our Byron Scott has details.
I'm Byron Scott. The last flag in the country to feature the Confederate battle symbol is coming down. Lawmakers in the Mississippi State House and Senate voted to replace the flag that was adopted in 1894. The vote passed 91-23 in the House and 37-14 in the Senate. An amendment that would have put the issue before the voters was tabled. Leanna Range Norwood of Jackson is the great-granddaughter of the Reverend Robert L.T. Smith. He was known as the minister of the Jackson Civil Rights Movement. He became the first African-American to run for Congress in Mississippi since Reconstruction.
I do think that this was the right moment in time for the change to take place. And I honestly cried. I was so overwhelmed with joy that I had, a couple tears fall. And a friend of mine said that the church bells rang across from the governor's mansion yesterday. So it's a happy day.
Governor Tate Reeves is expected to sign the measure. A 9-member commission will now be tasked with coming up with a new design. I'm Byron Scott.
And as the county returns to back to normal, there's some good news for book lovers. The Prince George's County Memorial Library System announces its phased reopening plan. CTV's Keisha Butts has the details.
That's right. The county's library system announces its Phase 4 reopening plan. Phase 1 starts July 21st with curbside pickup. While you won't be able to go inside the library, you can schedule an appointment to pick up any items that you've placed on hold.
You show up for your appointment. You have your holds dropped into your trunk, or if you come on foot or by bicycle, staff will hand them to you in a social distancing queue out front of the building. And then if you've got returns at that point, you're going to be asked to go ahead and manually put them into the book drops on your own and not hand those to staff.
You can begin to schedule an appointment for curbside pickup starting July 13th. You can also drop off any library books or other materials that you've checked out before COVID-19 starting July 9th, and you have until September 1st to drop off these items. This is Keisha Butts with CTV News.
The library system also announced that it's going to be fine-free starting this Wednesday. It's also offering free access to the New York Times, Washington Post, and Flipster. Residents concerned about a proposed property tax increase can voice their opinions during a Zoom town hall meeting tomorrow, June 30th at 7 p.m. The joint forum will be hosted by council members Tom Dernoga, Jolene Ivey, and Monique Anderson Walker. The charter amendment, which would be a ballot question in November, would alter how homes are assessed. The issue goes to the full council for a final vote on July 21st. July 4th, 2020, the nation's birthday, will be less festive than usual because of the pandemic. Katira Jones has more.
Independence Day will look a lot different this year because of the pandemic. The cities of College Park and Greenbelt have canceled their annual 4th of July celebrations. Officials say residents will be able to utilize the parks in Greenbelt. However, barbecues will not be permitted. The city of Laurel will host a virtual July 4th celebration, and the National Harbor will live stream a concert featuring the U.S. Air Force Band. Meantime, it's important to remember the personal use of fireworks in Prince George's is illegal. In the district, Mayor Muriel Bowser is encouraging D.C. residents to celebrate the holiday at home or in a small group. And President Trump is still planning to host a 4th of July celebration on the south lawn of the White House, despite growing concerns over large gatherings. Reporting in Bowie, Katara Jones, CTV News.
Hi everybody and welcome to this CTV Sports Report. Tonight we are talking soccer. Pro sports leagues are back in the United States as the NWSL kicked off the Challenge Cup over the weekend. The Washington Spirit taking on the Chicago Red Stars. Let's head out to Utah for the action in this one. And in the 8th minute, it's the Spirit on the attack. Rose Lavelle with a perfect through ball to Ashley Hatch. Alyssa O'Hara makes the save, but Lavelle on the doorstep puts it in the back of the net, and the Spirit take an early 1-0 lead. Later in the first half, it's Lavelle again in on O'Hara with the shot, but O'Hara makes the save, keeps the score 1-0 heading into halftime. First minute of the second half, Ashley Hatch in on O'Hara, steals the ball from the goalkeeper and puts it in the back of the net for the score, and the Spirit take a 2-0 lead just 5 minutes later. Red Stars on the attack off of the deflection. Morgan Gautreau puts the ball past Audrey Bledsoe into the back of the net, and we are game on 2-1. 88th minute now. Red Stars looking for the equalizer, but Bledsoe with a huge save late in the game to keep the score 2-1, and that's the way it would finish. The Spirit win their opener in the Challenge Cup over the Red Stars 2-1. Moving on to baseball, where players for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs of the Independent Atlantic League continue to prepare for the upcoming season.
Our manager, Stan Clyburn, MLB veteran, really good guy, along with the rest of our coaching staff, Daryl Thompson, a La Plata native here in Charles County, another one of our coaches, also played in the MLB. They've been working with the guys, obviously not here, but giving them workouts to do, giving them instructions for anybody that has the capacity to maybe go work out at a gym, or if they can do things at home, or if they have a buddy they can play catch with or hit with. Really anything that they can be doing, they're working with the coaching staff right now and telling them, well, this is what I have the capacity to do. And they say, okay, well, this is what you should be doing. So ideally, that would kind of shorten down spring training a little bit, because if everybody's rusty and hasn't played at all, then it's going to be a little bit longer of a spring training, or summer training in this case. But ideally, that would be shortened down a little bit if everybody's already in really good health and good standing.
And that is your CTV Sports Report.
And that is your CTV News Update. I'm Patricia Vallone. Have a great evening.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov.